Boy, that sucked. It's been said before, and I'll say it again. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So where would you rather be than right here and right now on the Ralph Rant? Let's go.
Welcome to the Ralph Rant, your source for hard-hitting Buffalo Bills takes. Now, here's your host of the Ralph Rant, that veteran watcher of generations of Bills teams, the prophet who predicted Josh Allen's greatness, that opinionated so-and-so you've walked out on purpose because of the Ralph.
Welcome to the Ralph Rant. Welcome to the Ralph Rant. I am your host, the Ralph, and I just can't imagine anything uglier. I mean, did you even have a nightmare that described what we just saw? I'm joined here today by Taylor Salty, a frequent commenter on videos.
Hello, pained Bills fans.
Star of stage and screen. She happens to be my daughter. That was painful, was it not?
It was painful, yeah.
We could talk about a lot of problems with this game. But the first thing I have to point at is you go out, Miami wins the toss and decides to take the ball. And before they even get a first down, you have an interception from Cole Bishop. It's like being given the golden egg. It's been like being given 3 wishes. It's like being given the genie's lamp that you could shine up and have them come puffing out like some smoke, which I wish I had some right now. And what do you do with it? You defecate on it. You defecate on it. I don't know if we're talking about, I don't know, perhaps it's the Buffalo Bills having beaten the Kansas City Chiefs like that was some world-beating achievement. I didn't think the Chiefs were actually that good coming in. Or maybe you want to use the excuse that this is the one game bump from the Dolphins getting rid of their general manager, Chris Greer. I just don't know what to say about this game, and I don't know if we have anybody on Facebook. I've got no comments yet. I don't know what you could actually say in terms of a comment. But the Bills lose. We started the pod before the final whistle. I mean, it had been unwatchable at some point. What do we have for the final score? Is the horror even over yet?
Well, there's 3 minutes left. It's 3rd and 15 at the Miami 34, and the current score is 23-6 Dolphins. So
3 turnovers. You know, what are you thinking?
There was this sense of hope right at the end because they had this electric 98-yard touchdown drive. They got a stop. They were driving once again. You get this 3rd and 1. They pile through, and Josh keeps going, and then it's just stake to the heart with not only a fumble, but the second fumble of that nature in this game, where it just bumbles forward, and the Dolphins land on it, and it killed any sense of hope.
That is a good point also, because it was the same as the Cook fumble.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a situation where you had a Buffalo Bills ball carrier actually getting yardage, and I don't know, you stop thinking or whatever, secure the football.
Mm-hmm. I think realistically, had neither of those fumbles happened, that we'd be talking about a win right now, and maybe not a fantastic win or a win we're extremely proud of, but going 1-0, which is the whole point. And yet here we are, 0-1, 6-3 on the season. I think the Patriots probably won. Doesn't feel good. Does not feel good.
No, we're getting back into that same hole. It might not end up being the 6-6 hole that we saw from a couple of seasons ago, but nonetheless, I mean, this is becoming difficult. I just don't know what to say about the team. And we've got a viewer, very loyal viewer of the Ralph Rant. I believe his name is John. Cecil Dog is his YouTube handle. He gave me a comment. Now he's in Portugal, actually, so I don't know if he had the opportunity to see this game yet, but he made a comment that, if true, he heard something, if true, is extremely disturbing, which is that the Buffalo Bills general manager Brandon Beane was apparently attempting to trade with the Miami Dolphins for Jalen Waddle. And the story he has, and I cannot confirm this, I don't know if it's true, I have no clue. But the story is that Beane was offering a 2027 first-round pick, and the Dolphins wanted the 2026 first-round pick. And Beane didn't do the deal. Are you shitting me? If that's true, that's a capital offense. That's a capital offense. The Buffalo Bills obviously need help at receiver, but you can't give up a first-round draft pick because you might be able to get another Keon Coleman with it. Who had his one good play out of, X number of games today, essentially in garbage time, going down for that score.
Yeah, one good play down 10 does not a good wide receiver make, or reliable wide receiver.
I think we had this scheduled for 4:40. Just had to come on early. I just couldn't sit with this ruminating. It's just I just don't understand. And then, of course, the injuries again. It was on the slippery field. Landon Jackson lost. We can look up on that. You check it out.
It's worth anything. They're only down 10 now. Whoopee.
With how long to play?
3.5 minutes.
Yeah, watch. Well, maybe they start the podcast and they end up making a miraculous comeback.
Oh, I would love to be embarrassed on YouTube TV or YouTube Live if they end up winning this game.
Well,
Please.
The fact remains that when you have 3 turnovers, you can't win. But to me, again, like I said early on, is the fact that when Buffalo did not capitalize on the Cole Bishop interception right at the start of the game, and that we don't have a receiver that Josh Allen can throw downfield to reliably. I heard another comment on X as we were going from this. And it was essentially that maybe the team is upset as we were for not making some kind of a move for a receiver that could get downfield. Don't want to give up a first-round pick. Well, we've got M. Wiggins in the house, a KC fan, and, we don't need first-round picks for receivers. We gave ours to you. And you selected Xavier Worthy. And because you selected Xavier Worthy, who ate Buffalo alive in a playoff game, the Bills had to go out and use a first-round pick, selecting Maxwell Hairston. And Max looks like he's coming along. He's going to be a good player. But, I mean, this aversion to giving Josh Allen the weapons he needs is getting to be utterly, utterly ridiculous. I mean, we don't even have an attempt to go downfield. I didn't even see urgency when the Bills should have been trying to move the ball. No huddle. What do we got now for the situation down a distance?
Yeah, I'll find out.
I don't want to bring this up. I could bring it up on YouTube TV here and sound off.
Well, Buffalo has the ball with 3:29. I don't know. 1st and 10 at Miami, 37. I don't know. Did they recover an onside kick? Hey, once again, I'd love to be humiliated.
Yeah,
Come on, Buffalo, bring it on.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I'll eat crow, but the fact is, you just cannot not take advantage of the situation you have. We got a few in the house here. I think there's a few of you on YouTube. I think many more on X. We're looking at 45 watching right now, which is normally a result when Buffalo has a bad game. Indeed, if you are watching, you're not part of the Ralph Rant, definitely like to get your subscription. Get a like of the video. I don't know. I wouldn't even give this video a like for what we're talking about. But definitely subscribe if you can. It just takes a nanosecond to hit that subscription button. And we were getting close to 1,000 subscribers, which would just give us a larger audience to talk about the next big Bills letdown. I just cannot understand what happened there. Perhaps it's the fact that the Bills took so much out of them emotionally with the win against Kansas City last week. I mean, I don't care what or when. Kansas City is also always going to create a situation for the Bills to have to deal with. Listen, it gets into fans' minds, so of course it can get into the team's mind. But that definitely seemed to be the case today. I think we've got a lot of people who are maybe still watching the game.
You haven't.
Oh, they scored again?
Oh.
30-13 now. The only thing I can give you is that I do recall long ago, and there's no bearing on this, certainly, to this team, but the year the Bills went to their first Super Bowl, one of the early games that season was versus Miami. The Bills were 1-0, I believe, at a home opener, I think, but then they played their second game down at the stadium formerly known as Joe Robbie. The Jim Kelly quarterbacked Bills. I mean, you had the whole Hall of Fame crew there, and the Bills got waxed 30-7. But the Dan Marino and that Tua Tagovailoa, I'm just sick to my stomach with this. I just wish I knew what was going on with this team. Is there just some sort of mental thing? Because it's the turnovers today and the injuries. Landon Jackson, that didn't look good. When a guy comes off the field like that, he can still walk, and then he gets walked into the back. That could be an ACL. I saw the same thing happen. Both she and I were at the game in Detroit when Von Miller did his ACL. And it doesn't look like much to begin with. I mean, Jackson was in some pain. Often when there is an injury with a great deal of pain at first, it's often a good sign because the guy just got stung, but he'll be back up. And then we were hoping it was a cramp, but it looked like Dalton Kincaid went off with a hamstring. Mm-hmm. And that could be weeks, people, weeks. I'm going to get to a couple of your comments here. As we said, Mr. Wiggins from KC fan in the house.
Good to have you.
You're not losing this week anyway, but indeed, as he says, here that KC is gagging this year on close games. Even Mahomes mentioned that. And then certainly
Buffalo's losing the highly winnable ones. So
yeah, exactly. Steve, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Steve, welcome back. I think I might have said Buick last night. You're definitely not a Buick. That would need to be an I. But Steve was on the show with us last night. Well, at least Jacksonville increased the lead versus Chiefs for the 7th seed. And then we'll get to watch, Daniel Jones go win the Super Bowl this season? Steve again lost all momentum when McDummy didn't go for it on the first 4th down. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Some of the 4th down calls, some of them today were all right, but especially the one where it was 4th and 1 and there was like a 20-yard attempt down the field to Jackson Hawes doesn't feel appropriate. And I think it was the second read. I think they were going to go to James Cook, who went out to the side, but he was in double coverage. It was just unfortunate.
Well, it seems to me that Allen did not have a lot of luck with first reads today.
No, I agree. I think they took away his first reads a lot, and they blitzed a lot, which he had trouble with that in Atlanta, and he had trouble with it today. It just feels like a wastage of time, especially because they seem to be able to get their stuff together at one point and give us hope, only to stomp on it later. So it was quite upsetting.
Steve back with another comment there, and then dumbass Brady goes for a pass on the second 4th down.
Yeah.
4th and a yard. You're supposed to have the best offensive line amongst the best offensive lines in the league. You've got Josh Allen, and you're throwing the ball. What are you doing? Again, cute. Why be cute? Mm-hmm. I don't understand. These guys can't handle the pressure of this.
It seems like there's this sense of being untrustworthy. And if there's this untrust between different positions, it's, of course, you can't work well as a team and do the fundamentals and do all the things, as you say, I can't say that probably. McDermott says you can't follow those. So.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I thought we even had an overlay here. Yeah, that was from last night. The hell with it. We don't even need one. That's when there was hope. Saturday night. We all talked about it. I predicted a 34-17, and that team was beatable, and I just can't understand what happened. Obviously, we didn't wait long enough to see any post-game information, post-game interviews, or whatever else. You got a final score yet?
No, there's still 2 minutes left, but what can you do?
Good Lord, how long is this pain going to go on for?
I don't know.
Just unbelievable. Yeah, the Bills receivers are not good enough. And yeah, there's just no separation. And how many short throws even behind the line of scrimmage.
Lots of them. Also, Shakir felt neutralized today. He's a big yards after catch guy, and it felt like they took that away, and that caused a lot of problems. Like, we had a lot of like 3rd and 8s, and those are hard for any team, but when you're used to having shorter distances to go, it turns into a snowball effect.
I still I just can't get past this feeling that perhaps the Bills were as upset as we were with no activity at the trade deadline. And certainly Buffalo could have used some defensive line help. Ed Oliver, Michael Hoyt, get a bad wrist on Joey Bosa. Landon Jackson's hurt now. TJ Sanders being out.
We better hope Deion Walker stays good.
But for the most part in that game, Buffalo held them to a point total where a Bills offense, with Josh Allen as your quarterback, ought to be able to win.
Yeah, 16 points usually doesn't win a game. Even 23 points. The Bills are used to scoring 30. I think you see the Dolphins with 23 points, and you still have some level of confidence that the Bills can win that game. But it was just offensive woes.
And Joe is not good enough. That's because Joe Brady's offense has tape and the defense is caught up with the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would agree with that, except I'm like trying with both hands to find a scheme. Because the instant you don't have the James Cook factor going, and I don't know if he was slowed with the ankle at all today. I'm not sure if the Dolphins just had their number. The Dolphins had some rest, obviously. But certainly it's just reprehensible. What were they, 2-7 coming in?
Yes.
2-7? Disgraceful.
Oh, just in my comments.
You're wrong is in the house. We were discussing this last night. Maybe we should start holding the quarterback accountable. The interception in the end zone was all on Josh. Yeah, he fairly spit up on himself there.
Mm-hmm.
Josh had Keon open for a touchdown, but threw out of bounds instead of leading him inside.
Mm.
And I don't know if on the interception in the end zone, he was expecting Dawson Knox to cross in front of the face. But, you know, this is the NFL. You just don't stand there waiting for the ball.
Yeah, we were talking about this when it happened too. Josh threw it as if Knox had inside leverage when he had outside leverage. It looked all wrong. But also Josh had a lot of inconsistencies today. As if he were like a little riled up. Like there was that pass to Shakir that ended up at his feet, and it wasn't an extremely hard throw. It was like right at the line of scrimmage, and it looked like the kind of Josh that gets antsy and worried. And I think that was based on all the blitzing he was getting. But yeah, just part of his job is finding a way to be focused and calm no matter the situation. And that seems to be a new problem. Well, not a new problem, but a problem that's rearing its ugly head more and more.
Well, the other thing, and this goes back to a series of videos I did over the bye,
Mm-hmm.
where who is on the sideline talking to Josh Allen, getting him out of this mental funk.
It's true.
Not Joe Brady. He's upstairs.
Yeah.
Not Sean McDermott. Do you ever see McDermott talking to a player on the sideline? I don't. Ever. You saw him get mad at least once today, right?
He did. He was yelling a little bit. But yeah, you just see Josh go sit on the bench and you watch him let it fester. And he looked tired too. He was red in the face, and I know it was hot down there today and it was a long game, but you need tactics to get fresh and ready to go next play. If you're going to talk like you just want to go 1-0 every week, then you need to have like one successful drive after another. And it seems to just be weighing on his conscience.
Well, I keep on going back to the beginning of the game. And when you took that turnover and with a chance to put points on the board to break serve, essentially, because the Dolphins started with the ball, and you have the opportunity to go out and score, and you've got a 4th and 1.5, and you punt. You cannot, like I said, defecate on good things when they come your way.
Yeah. Because
the energies alter. And this is the problem with the Bills. I mean, it's playing scared. It's scared, everything from afraid to put youngsters on the field. I mean, Landon Jackson has had so little time. Mm-hmm. He basically was on the field with the Bills, for 30 plays total this season. 16 in the game versus the Patriots, 12 versus the Falcons, and this might have been his first or his second play on the field where he gets injured. There's bad energy, and there's a lot of people that will talk about, oh, you can point to this schematic thing or that being read wrong and so forth. And again, it goes back to the same thing I talked about in earlier videos I did. Those are symptoms. They are not causes. And McDermott did not have that team ready to play. And I'm not at all sure that there isn't some disgruntlement over the Bills not getting a receiver. And if you're telling me, again, I have to repeat this, I probably will a couple of times, the story I heard today that Brandon Beane had the opportunity to secure Jalen Waddle by trading the Bills' first-round pick from the 2026 draft this next season. And Beane was offering the 2027 and wouldn't give him the 2026. What are you going to get with that pick, Beane? If your team is worth a shit, you're actually going to have a late pick anyway. It's going to be number 27, 28, 29. I don't know. Maybe the Bills won't make the playoffs. Maybe he's thinking that pick will be more valuable than it normally is. What are you going to do? Take your first pick and go find your next Keon Coleman? Or what? Josh has his eye on somebody in this draft too that you might want to bring in? Because, of course, Josh is a talent scout. There's nobody driving this thing. It's rudderless. It's like a ship just floating in the waves, no rudder, no direction, because there's nobody driving it. Bills were not ready to play football today. And why is there no way? Taking a first-round pick, they're bringing in a new GM? Why? So you get a shot of making the playoffs? You're already down Tyreek Hill? I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe what I heard was wrong. And if that's the case, I'm just looking for something to get pissed off about. The coach needs to go as well. And I said this in the 2-game losing streak, and of course, I always build back up hope, just like anybody. But if you're gonna lose, just go ahead and lose out, and let's. I don't know who you get as a coach. I get shouted down for this, but I'd bring in John Gruden
as the head coach.
He's gonna fire some people up. He's a brilliant football tactician. A lot of people don't like him. He got jumped on for some things he said. We've all said things. Mm-hmm. But you need to get somebody with life in this thing. If McDermott doesn't go to that podium today and slam the table or do something, mm-hmm. rather than just sitting there going, we need to work harder. Mm-hmm. It's tough to win games in the NFL.
Yeah.
We got Paul Chandler in the house. We got a lot of comments. We're missing some of them.
Yeah.
It looked like they knew what we were doing all game. That offense is terrible and predictable. They looked flat again, like I said before we're done. Yeah, and quite frankly, again, I mean, as many of you know, have subscribed to the channel, and as you hear in the intros to the shows, that I'm the prophet that predicted Josh Allen's greatness. And I did. I did a video 2 weeks after the draft of Josh Allen predicting that. And I used some film, amongst other things, to demonstrate that point. And it was film of the Wyoming Cowboys hosting Hawaii. And what do you see on the sideline? You see a fist-pumping Josh Allen, shouting, yelling. Do you see any of that now? He goes and sits on that same goddamn spot at the end of the bench every game, sulking. Today he looked like a deer in the headlights. Who is down there coaching this guy? You need somebody in his face. It's not McDermott. You need an offensive coordinator down there, but the offensive and defensive coordinators don't even live on the sideline, and that is the only team in the NFL where that's the case. There's not a single other team in the NFL with both coordinators hiding up in the booth upstairs. You do see a couple of defensive coordinators, Vic Fangio, for example. But Vic has earned his spot. If he wants to be up in the booth, that's fine. But the Eagles' offensive coordinator isn't. And most defensive coordinators are down on the sideline. Well, you've got McDermott now as the defensive coordinator, essentially, because he's calling the defense. Mm-hmm. And so good, he's on the sideline. But no one does anything for Josh Allen. There is absolutely no one down there talking to him. Yeah, you've got a couple of assistant coaches, but you've empowered Josh Allen so much and made him the face of this team so much that, I mean, who's going to go and get in his face? Mm-hmm. I mean, you hear McDermott giving up to Josh and worshiping Josh. That's crap. You need somebody giving him stuff on the sideline. And believe me, the dogs are upset. You can hear one in the background because I roared for a lot of this game and was quiet for other parts of it. I know you were trying. You were trying and hoping. Get a few more of your comments, but you could tell how bad of a loss it is. We've got 84-85 now watching. Again, a lot of you I know are on X and are unable to comment, but I could just guess what you're saying. Let's make sure we get to all of them here.
I think you missed one higher up.
Well, you can help me out finding them there.
Like more.
Well, we're getting a lot more now.
This purple one up there.
We'll just start looking at them here. They seem unfocused. Yep, absolutely. Up the irons. Thanks for being here. Again, if you're new in the house, go ahead, subscribe, because you'll get this kind of rant every time. And there will be shows that are talking about specifics on plays. Oh, if there was leverage here or not. Or if you'd hung on to the ball or not, if you're James Cook or Josh Allen. It's something deeper, people. It's something deeper. Well, Steven, so I got it right last night. That's one of the only things I've done right today. I sure did not predict this game correctly. So, Stephen Buick, thank you, sir.
I don't think anybody predicted it correctly.
No. Who else we got going? Maybe we start holding quarterback accountable. The interception in the end zone was all on Josh. Yeah, I think we even looked at that before, but it's worth looking at again. The defender was inside of Knox. We saw that. I'm all out of sorts here. Completely out of sorts. No, we got it going. McDermott, you're not going to blame Josh because you don't watch the All-22. The All-22 all year long, outside of a handful of games, has revealed that Josh has played extremely average in long stretches. There are examples of that, too. I believe it was one of the two losses. I think where Josh threw to the left side of the field to it might have been Ty Johnson, but he had Ty Shavers wide open, standing right on the number 10 at the 10-yard line. And I think they're doing a piss poor job of coaching the team and coaching Josh Allen. This has Brandon Bean written all over it for his poor draft picks. Yeah, I mean, in that business, I don't care what it took. I mean, you don't have a track record of being able to make good picks, early round picks, Brandon. So trade the damn things away and get somebody in there. I mean, at the very least, getting Jalen Waddle, if they could have gotten him, he'd have been scoring for you, not for them. Well, we've got a discussion going between commenters here. Yes, it was a great play. That's what $45 million quarterbacks are paid to do. Mahomes does it as well. You just wrongly take that great play and think it trumps several other drives and games. Well, it's see, we're going over. I'm doing I'm doing as bad a job at running this show as the Bills did of running this game.
Let's see where.
Hate to say it, but we got to tip our cap. They kicked the shit out of us. Well,
they played well, but that game was winnable. We weren't dominated. I think that half of the problems were just self-inflicted things, especially those turnovers that we are usually good at avoiding. Those 2 turnovers that go forward. I mean, how often do you see the Bills do that? And it happened twice, both in key moments. I think the more disappointing part is that game was winnable. For a while there, it was 16-0, and that's an extremely winnable game. And even 23-13. I know there was time constraints at that point, but still not out of reach, which is even more disappointing.
Read it up.
Oh, Bean should have made the trade no matter what. Our first round picks have not been good since Josh Edmonds.
Josh and Tremaine, yeah.
Yeah.
With the 7th and the 16th pick.
If we can make all our picks in the 6th round, we would have had like 5 rings by now because they nail it then. But
we're just going to keep on going through them. That was old school 80s smash mouth football. Yeah, it and the defense, you could tell it was tough, and I think they just started giving up after a little bit because
well, they kept to the game in reach for so long, and the offense just couldn't produce anything with it.
I agree, but Sean is not the answer. I don't know what that, but if you're talking about McDermott, yeah, it's listen, I compared him to Moses on an earlier video. Like Moses led the Hebrews out of bondage, out of the desert. He parted the Red Sea, got them across that. But Moses had to stop when they got to the River Jordan because somebody else had to take over. Joshua of all names. But I just wonder if McDermott may have been great for getting the Bills out of the drought, but this is a freaking disaster. This is a disaster. You cannot play this poorly against substandard football teams. Think Coleman is officially a bust? You tell me. You tell me. He can't separate. You don't see him up fighting for the ball.
No.
What, on that one throw down the left side? He ended up playing defender. I mean, you got to muscle your way up to get that football. It just doesn't seem like he gets it.
Is this his 3rd year now? I would give him till the end of this season.
Or 2nd, I guess.
Is it only a 2nd? I think 3rd. I don't know.
I don't even know. It's kind of.
I think 3rd year defines a player. So.
Well, we'll see.
Whether or not it's end of this season or next, I would determine the rest of
it. But there's other teams in the NFL who actually get a guy in the first round that's actually really good. And I mean, how many times do we not see it? And I understand, being going after all the defensive signings, defensive draft picks.
But then you trade for a receiver.
Didn't do it. I know a lot of people. I mean, Joe Marino, for one, just was begging the Bills to draft Torrey Horton.
Oh, that would have made his day.
Charles Stone in the house. Charles was very, very first viewer on my very, very first post-game show.
That's excellent.
And he experienced the massive technical screw-up that I propagated on that show. Welcome in. No attitude to play on both sides of the ball. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Oliver, 7 carries for Cook in the first half is criminal.
It is, yeah, entirely.
And they gave up on it again. But you need to give it a chance. You need to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
We had that one. McDee will say it's hard to win, and they'll go ring the bells at church. I'm a man of great faith. It's a very private thing with me. We're not really churchgoers, but I have a great deal of faith. I don't want to put it in other people's faces, but when Sean McDermott goes to a press conference after a game and says, glory to God when we won, and that's great, glory to God. But where is it when you lose? And is that to say that God is responsible for all your wins? Because you sure as shit don't seem to be. The game plan on offense is the same every freaking game because we expect has to be. It just, it's we just expect it always to be great because we have Josh Allen, we have James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that the daughter has to be on live after a loss.
I'll just have to keep coming back till we win.
I was going to let her off the hook, but we had it in the description and everything.
A real Bills fan would tough it out, and that's what we're all doing here right now, right?
And I don't think it's all on Josh. I think the OC is average.
Hmm.
The absolute main problem with this passing game is freaking route tree. Complete lack of horizontal. Make the defense chase routes. It's just poorly coached. And you could talk about Brady being great, but Brady's been great because he had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase at LSU, and then he's had Josh Allen. And he looked good for, season and a half or so. It's not been great this year.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps maybe the worst thing that could have happened to them was coming back and winning the game versus the Ravens to start the season, making them think that they were something great that perhaps they really weren't.
Yeah. I think you've said this before, but I think that game just reflects more on the Ravens than it does the Bills at this point.
You have quick wide receiver group with Shakir Moore and Samuel and Palmer.
Oh, on the chasing the routes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm, entirely. And there was so much behind the line of scrimmage today, and that just doesn't seem like it works for our team very well. Every time the ball is in the backfield, defenders come up and get us, and we lose yards. At least today.
We've got Joe Zadie in the house. Coleman is a bust. Scored when it doesn't matter. We have like 6 tight ends on the active roster. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he had nothing going when we threw to the first play of the game on offense was to Coleman, and it's just he gets locked up with any defender that he's against, and he's become a non-factor lately.
Tell you what, if I was Terry Pagula, I'd have some pretty strong questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brandon Beane revealed something in that post-trade deadline presser he did. And he said, this is not Las Vegas or it's not fantasy football. I would have lost money. And what I think he's trying to say there is that if he'd made a trade, for example, of a first-round pick or even a first and a third to get a receiver who is actually someone that can separate and is a proven commodity. To me, when he says I would have lost money, what it's telling me that is that his interest is all around the value of draft picks. I mean, and it seems like that's always been the case. Draft capital, draft capital, draft capital. Mm-hmm. No awareness of where this team is and what it could have used. Mm-hmm. It would make such a difference if you had a true threat downfield. And it's been so long that I don't even know if Josh Allen would know how to throw to a true threat downfield. He needs to go into the front office and put his foot down. If you're talking about Pagula, I would think so. Mm-hmm. Dennis is in the house. Dennis Maximchuk, a visitor to the show on a number of occasions. The commentators said that Wisnowski, the punter, was the best Bills player today. Reminds me of the Brian Mormon days. I think I'll just stay like this the rest of the time.
Me too.
Yeah, it reminds me of going down during an unwatchable Bills game and starting some project in the basement, trying to forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, cleaning the cat litter today would have been more exciting.
Yeah, and it's so mind-boggling that they go, and I know the Chiefs this year haven't been as impressive as previous years, but they're still like, they're our big competition, and you go and you beat them, and Josh has the best statistical game, and Mahomes has the worst statistical game, and then you come here and you just like you said, you just defecate the bed. I mean, this is a win-out situation, especially with the Patriots, who I assume also won today. Looking at your schedule, like, this is one of the ones you have to have, and you just don't. And it's ridiculous. It's wasteful.
He probably won't because he doesn't want the negative impact behind it. Yeah, that's talking about Pagula doing that. So disheartening seeing these teams like Seattle being able to throw 50-yard bombs for touchdowns to elite wide receivers. Sean Delavan, go off, King. Yeah. Darnold to JSN for 49.
What was our longest throw of the day today?
I don't know. Probably one of the earlier ones to Kincaid.
Yeah. It couldn't have been. I don't think anything was over 30.
It's bad when a regular season game just became an epic season turning, maybe regime turning moment.
Yeah.
When are we going to figure out that Josh Allen is being wasted by this janitorial coaching staff that came up to clean up the mess in 2017? The mess got cleaned up. I want to hear what McDermott has to say about this win. I don't want to hear the goddamn platitudes. Oh, and it's hard to win, and we need to work harder. When you have a team that's not prepared to play like that, it's not coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's not coaching.
Mm-hmm.
If you have guys getting hurt, I mean, all of it, it's energy. It's about an energy of the team. We cannot look at this always being like schematic things or looking at things that are symptoms, not causes. And we'll have a lot of shows looking at all the symptoms. We didn't run Cook enough. We don't have a receiver that can get downfield. We have guys hurt on defense so much. You can try to point at these things being causes. They are not causes. They're symptoms. You got to get at the cause. McDumbass is not the guy. Coleman is not a bust. The fucking offensive scheme is a bust. Been doing that style for how long? Why just build to beat the Chiefs instead of reinventing your team? Point made.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Bills players golf this morning? If so, they should have stayed there. It's not deeper, brother. It's the front office. Fume drummers in the house. Let's complete the sweep and let the Jets beat us in the final game at the Ralph.
Horrible. Don't put these things into existence.
Joe Zadie, it didn't matter the Coleman scored to possibly make it a 16-8 game. Critique him fine, but don't make things up. We got fighting amongst the troops.
Kids are fighting, yeah. Guys, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, they know I show every comment.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I hate bashing on Josh, but if we want to be honest and evaluating the problems with this team, the guy they paid $45 million has to be included in that equation. Actually, he's being paid closer to 60.
And Bean wants to talk about saving money.
I'm trying to come up with money for a little $325 device so my live streams have the voice and the video synced up. Tom Brady took a lot less from the Patriots. And why? So they could get some players and have some freaking cap space.
Mm-hmm.
You got Josh making $55 million a year. If it was 45, we'd have another $10 million in cap space. Bean probably wouldn't know what to do with it. You have to ask yourself, who wants to win? Usually these shows, when you get a lot of people watching, of course, everyone is looking for some therapy, trying to get it off your chest. And I found during the two losses, and even explaining away some of the sketchy wins earlier in the season, that doing these shows actually helped me. It was like self-therapy in talking to you. But I got to tell you, I'm feeling worse now than when I started the show.
Yeah.
It's not, this is not doing it for me. It's just horrifying. And, and the defense is racked up and so forth. Look, I mean, they had 16 points for a lot of that football game, did the Dolphins.
Highly winnable game by the Bills.
Absolutely makes it winnable.
The defense, yeah, they gave up those points early, but for a while that was all they gave up. The game stayed alive for so long, and part of the reason it hurt the way it did is because it wasn't this big blowout that was over by halfway through the second. It was still highly winnable, especially with, Josh Allen at the helm. But
yeah, well, who's the chicken shit? Because when you intercept that, and I'm telling you, I believe in how these energies actually work in this game of football, not just this particular contest, but in the game of football. There are energies at play that are over and above what we're actually seeing, and they have an effect. And when you got that interception by Cole Bishop to end the Dolphins' first series, and you take that to a 4th and 1.5 and don't go for it because you're slightly on your side of the field.
It might be a totally different game.
Who's the chicken shit?
Yeah. It's all about the script. I mean, they received the ball, which is good for the Bills because we like taking it at the top of the half. You have an opportunity to double dip. And you get this, not just a 3-and-out, an interception, no less. And I think the Dolphins wanted to receive the ball because they want to set the pace. Okay, we're going to score a touchdown. We want the Bills to have to match us. And we take that away from them. And then we can go set pace and force them into a throwing game and make Tua uncomfortable and make them throw out this new run game that they're developing with this new jumbo offensive lineman. And yet they just like fourth and 1, don't go for it. And there's your game. And then the Dolphins get to do what they want anyways.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it's something highly handleable, and the Bills couldn't handle it.
Look, I hate bashing on Josh, but if we want to be honest in evaluating the problems with this team, the guy they paid $45 million to has to be included in the equation. Mm-hmm. I think we're repeating that, but it bared repeating. Aaron, a Fins fan, I feel you guys beat yourself. Yeah, no separation from wide receivers for y'all, and Allen was playing hero ball, which means turnovers. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, to an extent. I don't even think he saw him put on the cape. I think he was afraid. I didn't even see that sort of thing. I mean, he threw the horrifying interception into the end zone, and then, he gets away on the sneak. You could hang on to the ball. I mean, these are basic things.
Horrifying.
Like,
yeah.
Like McDermott will probably harp on, well, it's about fundamentals. How long is it going to take you to get your shit together on fundamentals? How long, Lord? How long does it take to get your act together on fundamentals? I watched the All-22, and yes, we made bad decisions when you were flustered. You never have a wide receiver open with a scheme that the best quarterbacks will make a bad decision. Yeah, again, We're talking about scenery and not causes.
Mm.
This is like with the JFK assassination. I mean, I just watched this thing on the unspeakable Amazon where they're talking about all these different, possibilities and probabilities as to what actually happened there. And it's all scenery. It's all scenery. You're talking about the what. You've got to get to the why.
Mm-hmm.
They're sending the Ralph out sad just to build a new stadium to be trash. That would suck. The building's beautiful too. I think you need to leave the coaching staff behind. I mean, this is a ball club that can play, but you have got to have something going on the sidelines with this team. There is no energy. There's no attitude.
Yeah.
And I made 3 videos in a row about this during the bye and insisted that this was the case, that there's a lack of attitude. It's the shocking culture of quiet on the Bills. And they turn around and go win a couple of games. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're great again. Our method is good. You don't have anybody on the sideline coaching these guys. You've got Ryan Nielsen working with the defense a little bit. He's the only coach I actually see talking to people.
Yeah.
It's like the goddamn people that are going up to talk to Josh look like they're afraid to approach him. Adamy's in the house. I'm fucking pissed. The whole team, coaching, coordinating, offense, defense, stars, and role players. Everyone sucked. Bean did not get it done. No one getting open. No one. Put them all on the hot seat. Pardon the French, I'm exercising that particular language here on this podcast. I will tell you that on one hand, YouTube indicated that this is okay. On the other hand, if you do have young children watching or somebody's 78-year-old mother like was watching last night, I do apologize. They're just words.
Yeah. Welcome to the Ralph.
It's not all on the quarterback to make every positive play for the offense. The coordinator has to help him. The coordinator needs to be present. There is no one helping Josh on the sideline. And I'm not talking about figuring out why you couldn't hit this guy or what to do about the blitz. I'm just talking about someone like pumping him up. There's no one doing this. And we're going to see him, this sulking mess. I never watched the post-game pressers before this. I will be fascinated to see what McDermott has to say about this cesspool of a showing in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's in the house. I've been a Bills fan since 1966. Thank you, Ralph, for showing our majestic red buffalo logo prominently on your channel. Yeah, that's the one. That is definitely the one. And if you move your head a little, you can maybe cover the Dolphins. Cover the Bills logo.
No, I'll cover the Dolphins.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'll just sit where I'm sitting.
Hire Coach Gruden.
He's with you.
Yeah,
Do you?
I got slammed on that one by some people. I'm sticking right to it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know as much like logistical coaching side of football, but I wonder, do you I don't know how we feel about Babbage at this point, but do you take McDermott down to coordinator and bring in Gruden, or are you sweeping?
I don't know if perhaps if he would do it. Gruden is definitely an offensive-minded coach.
Well,
he's offensive guy rather than a defensive guy, but he's got some heart and spirit. He'll get upset on the sideline. Do we ever see McDermott throw down a headset? I said this in these videos. They're taking Frisbee, one of the Microsoft Surfaces that they use. Do we ever see any of that? No, we don't.
Well, isn't it true that statistically offensive head coaches win more Super Bowls?
It is. And McDermott just doesn't have the fire. And then, he needs to start wearing glasses now. And somebody asked him about that in the presser this last week. And what's with the glasses? And he said he went as long as he could not using them. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
I wonder how many things that actually is like for the Bills. How many things they go as long as possible without using. Where's I've always asked for this. Where are the fake punts in moments like this? Where's the stuff? I know we save as much as we can for the playoffs, but at this rate, are we gonna make the playoffs? Because at this point, it looks like we're maybe gonna be a wild card. That certainly I feel like can't go awesome. But if things continue like this, like what are even our chances? There's other great teams this year. There's Indianapolis. The Steelers don't look too bad. There's a lot of teams, and how many things are we holding back, and how many years are we wasting at this point?
Oh,
Where's a trick play? Where's a trick play that isn't stupid on 4th and 2?
yeah. I mean, let's punt. Tony Quarters, McD has to go. Yeah. I've said this for years. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yankee Level 100. As a Finns fan, I'm in shock. Respect you all, but I'm happy the snowbirds from down here will be quiet for a while.
Congratulations.
Congrats. You got it coming. You got it coming. And I lived down there for 17 years, and I went to those games during the Super Bowl era.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Super Bowl.
And Josh promised that we should stay at all the games.
Do you feel a draft? Do you feel a draft at all in here?
Maybe. Why?
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know why?
Why?
Because the window's closing. Sorry.
It's okay.
Paul Chandler. This team is bad for my blood pressure.
Mhm.
Yeah, we need like Bobby Chandler. You remember him. He could get open. Sean Delavan, isn't it interesting that our offense looks like the Tyrod Taylor era offense? What's the common thread? Sean McDermott. Thank you. Crap, Houston is about to come back and beat Jacksonville.
Did they? I can look it up.
Yeah, it's been 20 minutes ago. We're way behind on these comments.
Sorry.
Terrible job of it. I know a lot of you are in pain. Some of you are actually rejoicing.
Good God, they're right.
Oh, Lord.
Not good. Houston wins 36-29. So now I don't know what that does for the Chiefs. I don't even know what the playoff picture looks like as of this point.
Well, this performance has got to put some kind of a dent.
We were the 5, weren't we? I feel like that's certainly going to be worse. 6-3 is not something to be proud of.
Yeah, maybe Josh and Mahomes can get together and do a playoff podcast. Doesn't feel like either of them will be there.
I like this. I like this comment.
Anatomy, who is going to get held accountable for this nonsense today?
It feels like there's no stakes with these losses. Nothing bad. Nobody, there is no hot seat. Somebody else said that too. And stakes is what creates the high pressure to do well. And you're right. I mean, there's nothing seems as though it's going to happen.
Was Josh Allen crying? Was that during the game, or are you talking about in the presser?
During the game, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I saw this moment. I wasn't sure if he was crying, but he probably should have been.
Yeah, Brady has made his reputation. The Dolphins were actually begging the Bills to pass in the first half. They were loading 8 or 9 guys in the box to stop Cook. Yeah, Brady has made his reputation on having very good players that he could do very well with, and I just don't see it.
Yeah.
We had what, another cute end around, try to Elijah Moore.
Yes, that was Elijah tried to go inside instead of sticking it outside, and I think he could have beaten the guy to the edge. But still, it's a third down situation, and you're playing around in the backfield. Go forward, get yards.
This is not a championship team. We cannot move the ball offensively through the air. That's true. We're going to go through and get them all here.
Yes.
McD lost me at 4th and 1 early. Yes. It was inside of 25, but I think with that defense and the injuries, you go for it in perfect conditions that early. Have some faith and get team aggressive.
Yeah. Especially when Josh wants to go for it. The one thing I absolutely despise is when you see Josh on the field begging to go for it and he gets denied. I'm sure that's creating problems.
McDermott pulls the chicken switch so often.
I mean, we can go back to 13 seconds if we're going to open this can of worms.
The worms are crawling everywhere. We've opened
The
it.
worms are eating our playoff chances.
I stopped even getting mad. I'm kind of used to a garbage coming from one Bills drive, and Beanface is not the GM. I mean, and this sad sack presser of his earlier in the week. Well, I tried. I went home as mad as everyone else did. The difference between us is you had the picks to trade. We didn't. You don't do shit with your early round picks normally. Mm-hmm. Max Hairston looks like he could be good, but you traded yours away the year before, and then took Keon Coleman with the very first pick in the second round and gave Xavier Worthy, who could have gotten downfield, and the only reason you had to draft Max Hairston was because you were trying to make Xavier Worthy unworthy because he was the one stopping you in the playoffs along with the rest of the Chiefs. And in the meantime, guys, wake up. The NFL is caught up.
Yeah, it feels like everybody else is evolving, and we had our big evolve, and we never evolved after that.
Vito B in the house. Of course, we started the show, an hour early.
Mm-hmm. Those turnovers, if those didn't happen, I mean, those were all three. They were all three Dolphins side of the field. Were they all three red zone? I don't know if James Cook's was. No, I know that Josh's wasn't. But they were all on the positive side of the field.
They were all inside like the at least the 35.
Yeah, I think you don't have those turnovers and you still win the game. Not pretty, but you win. 1-0.
I've been a Bills fan for 35 years. Ricky Flores in the house from deep South Texas. I'm pissed off. 6-3 is better than 3-6. I suppose. And look, they were 6-6.
But there are what, 8-2s out there?
Well,
8-2, 7-2.
Yeah. I mean,
and those are spots you don't have, and the Chiefs aren't in your way, and it's a wasted opportunity because I don't know. It's
like maybe they thought they won it all last week after beating the Chiefs, and maybe they did golf this morning.
I wish they would prepare every game like they prepare for the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs, they seem like poised and ready, and they have a scheme, and they have all these things, and then it's just like the 31 other bums that they deal with, or the 30 other bums that they deal with, but we just got beat. So
is it me, but are all the losses that the teams look so much better than the Bills? Well, yeah, that's the idea when you lose, definitely. I thought Gabe Davis was going to play. He could be, and
I
at
thought
this
the
point
same
it would
thing.
help.
I thought the same thing.
But McDermott, of course, pulling the chicken switch. No, we're taking it one day at a time. You can't get a straight answer from him. 2 division losses are going to bite hard when it comes to the playoff seeding.
Right, you are.
Am I not mistaken that this is one of the first times, and I don't know how long, that every team in the AFC East won except for the Buffalo Bills?
Not a good day. Did the Jets win?
I believe so. They were up. McDaniel had the fish prepared for this game. Yeah, they got that one-game GM firing bump. Hell, just praying for the playoffs as 6 or 7 seed, 1 week at a time. Got Tampa next week.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we'll see, but I just don't know how long this goes on without there being some sort of fervor.
Mm-hmm. And the longer you wait is the more, even if we do get into the playoffs and at some point something drastic changes in coaching or whatever, like at what point are we just ruining ourselves because then with this new change, playoff stuff, it's going to be hard to adjust during the playoffs. You don't get a chance to lose, reflect, and play again. You just lose.
I just want to see somebody besides the fans, someone on the actual Buffalo Bills organization. I mean, even Ken Dorsey going nuts in the booth when they lost the last time.
In that booth.
Yeah, at that field. At least there was something. There was some sort of angst or anger.
Yep.
I'm so anxious to see these post-game pressers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably, some sad sack thing that talks about fundamentals, and I'll just I want to dive through the screen.
We should make it a drinking game.
Ugh. 21-7 the last 2 seasons with an AFC championship berth. Just waiting until these days are over and hoping to sneak into the last wild card will be the high point of the season. So spoiled are you? Perhaps. Can't hate on Josh for not taking market. That's ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous.
If you want to win a Super Bowl.
It's not ridiculous. Teams need money. And the guy that's won the most trophies, Tom Brady, did exactly that.
Wasn't he never the highest paid
quarterback? No.
Yeah. I mean, but how many is this Josh's first big contract, or has he had a couple?
No, he already got re-signed.
We're in year 8. This isn't just take less money. This is like your body is a ticking clock, and I don't know how many. Hopefully, you have like another 10 great years in you.
I mean, how much money does somebody need? He's married to a freaking movie star.
But if you want,
I'd play for $1 million a game and go Bean. Well, no, I wouldn't do that because Bean wouldn't know how to spend the money properly.
But if you want to bring Buffalo a Super Bowl, which is your mission statement, at some point you got to start funding the piggy bank.
Josh needs to restructure. Consistency is the sign of a team that has it together. That's for sure.
And we aren't consistent.
Vito, welcome to the house. Good to see your name there. Stephen Jordan in the house. I'm so effing pissed and disappointed. I don't know what to say. McD has to go, and the cute play calling, Brady needs to go too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was so shocked when we first saw that cute play calling, which was the attempted end around to Dawson Knox when they were wearing those daffy-ass rivalry uniforms versus the Patriots. And I got on the post game and I said, what is this cute stuff? And I was shocked to hear McDermott actually use that term. Maybe that's as upset as he gets. I would like him to show up, and maybe do like a Jim Mora thing at the podium today. Somebody asks him about playoffs, and he goes, playoffs? Playoffs? What the hell are you guys talking about? Do you ever see any angst or any emotion or any attitude or any aggression? The only time I've ever seen anybody on the Buffalo Bills in terms of a coach or a GM show any aggression, it's twice. Mm-hmm. Ken Dorsey in that booth a couple of years ago, and then this offseason when Brandon Beane got butthurt over the guys at WGR 550 telling them, why didn't you draft a receiver? And you heard him, push back on that a little bit.
Well, 2 of those guys aren't even on the field now.
Allen can't read defenses. I can't argue with that. As soon as Kincaid went out, it was over. No one else is a threat. That's for damn sure. If we only had an owner who actually liked the Bills, I'm starting to think this was a money grab. I don't know. I think Terry does like the Bills. He just doesn't seem as aggressive. He's left this in the hands of McDermott and Beane. But on the other hand, the guy didn't make his money by just laying back. So we'll have to see. Bills media outlet is here. We've been rebuilding for 2 years. It just looks better than the average rebuild. Point. Team is a hot, steaming pile of garbage under mid glasses.
It's a great roast we've got.
That makes me laugh. Mid glasses. And what's with the clear frames? You trying to make them disappear on your face? Well, it's the case, because otherwise it's like all of a sudden you're wearing glasses on the sideline, Sean. Why might that be? He could have said, and no one would know the difference, that, well, I've always worn contacts, but I just have this problem with dry eyes anymore, so I've got to switch to regular lenses.
Mm-hmm.
But no, what did he say?
I forget what he said.
He says, when he was asked about this, well, I went as long as I could without wearing glasses, and I finally had to give in and wear glasses on the sideline. Are you shitting me? What have you been looking at? What have you been looking at? What have you been looking at up till now? Terry said he was a Bills fan, been around as long as the NFL. I believe that, actually. Yes, all Bean's depth is helping us so much. Sarcastic, but lack of elite is what shows out. Weapons. Bean, get weapons. He had his chance.
Yep.
I believe that you've got a lame duck head coach in Miami. They got rid of Chris Greer. Somebody said earlier there was no way they're going to trade Waddle. Why not? Why not? Why not get a first-round pick? I made the point last night to show that, Bills first-round picks, because they're normally picking 28, 29,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 30, like this past year, aren't worth as much as somebody that's picking in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had been smart, they'd have taken whichever first-round pick he was offering. But apparently they did not. And again, if you didn't join us early, I heard a rumor, and it is a rumor, but it's from someone that I don't think would post it unless he heard something credible about it, that Brandon Beane was offering the Dolphins the 2027 first-round pick, and that for Jalen Waddle, and the Dolphins wanted the 2026 first-round pick. And apparently he refused on that.
No.
If that's the case, that's a capital offense. And he needs to be hung from his shoelaces off of those wooden poles that are sitting on Abbott Road outside the new stadium. Getting myself hard. Well, I'm not going to. You guys can do that. I'm not going to engage in
The kids are fighting.
Yeah, if Kincaid is out for any period of time, this offense will go back to the leather helmet era. Well, yeah. I was trying to think of a great comeback, but it was sort of like what Frank Costanza on Seinfeld. That's about as dumb as they. Forget it. B.O.B. The announcer says the interception to Knox was due to not being on the same page, Allen and Knox. They've only been together for 8 years. How could you not be on the same page? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's like, if I heard the word fundamentals in a single word of what McDermott has to say after this game, dear Lord. Ball and chill. Finn's fan here, but I'm seeing that it's Cook that's carrying Cook. Get you guys out of a lot of jams. If you shut him down, force Josh to make some mistakes, because you lose your defense. You lose because your defense is okay, but can't be trusted.
Well, yes, but it's on Joe Brady that James Cook gets ruled out after. It's like you get 5 tries or you get 7 tries, and if you don't do what we want you to do, we're going to make you sit on the bench. I mean, no disrespect to the Dolphins. You won the game. You did everything you needed to, but I'm confused why James Cook gets put in timeout when the first 10 plays don't go exactly as planned. I mean, with that logic, why aren't we benching Josh Allen after 10 plays?
Allen cannot read defense as well. He ain't one of the better ones to put it that way. Time to fire McDermott. It was unacceptable. Bills won't win the division, let alone the AFC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do people feel about the brand new $2.2 billion Patriots Stadium? I'm not touching that. Vito B, I bet the infrequently used Knox broke wrong or Allen missed the throw. When it rains, it pours. How about Cook coughing up the ball and a great drive? The team allowed the Fish to bully them. Yeah, they did. And that's because the team doesn't come out with an attitude. Because this game of football is all about attitude. It's all about emotion. It's about aggression and hostility. And when your players don't have it, you need somebody that can kind of give that to them. And the Bills don't have anyone on the sideline doing them, because the only person in the position of power on the sideline for the Buffalo Bills is Sean McDermott, and he doesn't say shit to anybody that I can see on the sideline.
Yeah.
Talking into his headset. And
I want the type who was, I believe it was the Dolphins defensive coordinator who was out there like getting guys excited, like, you know, slap on the helmet when you do a good job. We don't have that.
No.
We get like maybe like a little McDermott, like, good job, sweetie, before going back to the bench. But I mean, nobody gets a good job, sweetie, today. So where is that attitude that we talk about?
Well, they lost the playoff game in 2019 to the Texans. I said this team doesn't have it. Yep. Talk it up. Allen had the last OC fired, hence Brady. Maybe that's why no coach is in his face. Well, you know what? You know who used to be in his face? Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mentioned this about Brian Daboll on a previous show, and somebody said, well, what are you talking about him? He can't win at the Giants. But Dave's, you know, was down there, and Dave's was getting in his face, and he got red-faced. There is nobody getting on Josh Allen. It's like, snap out of it.
Yeah, I might be entirely wrong, but I feel like when we had Daboll, when we lost games, I'm thinking like games against, there were a couple of horrible blowout situations, but games like all those times against the Titans or the game against the Vikings, I can't remember if that was the Daboll era, but there was at least this fight. I mean, this one, it's like wasted down after wasted down after wasted drive of the game's right there. And there's no motivation to get it.
Kevin Skinner, it's a good thing we didn't get any wide receiver help at the trade deadline. Bean knows best. Talk that out.
Mm-hmm.
Zachary Fry, this is one for you.
Oh, hello. My name is Taylor. I am the Ralph Rant Jr. I am this one's daughter, and I'm here as a guest on this sad, miserable day.
The first snow of all things.
The first snow here where
Beautiful
we live.
morning. Blasted through the storm down to pick her up in Detroit, where she attends acting and theater school, and to come up for this. So that's the answer to that. Ralph, I spammed the chat last night. Remember how sick I feel about this team. I'd rather follow your daughter's acting career. Yes, I remember that. And thanks. We got a couple of subs out of that. I appreciate that. Well done. Victoria White, Poyer Milano, Hyde, all had to go after the Texan playoff game.
We are diving deep into our history right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is a deep one. And you know, definitely, again, thanks so much for being here. I hate that it has to be a loss, that we've got 122 watching right now.
Misery loves company.
Many of you are, of course, on X, but of course, many are also on YouTube. Again, if you're new to the channel, I won't always have the Ralph Rant here with me to do the shows, although I can always bring you on from remote, of course. But and if that's what it takes, fine. But love to have your subscription to the channel, and you know, we'll keep these rants going. And perhaps, you know, if we're not cheering the Bills, perhaps we could at least be cheering for some things to change, to stop this nonsense. Because again, you could talk about everything you want, but what it comes down to is that no one is on the sidelines in the position of any kind of power with coaching this team that is getting in players' faces. It used to work when we had Daboll. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah. Who's the scary guy? There's no scary guys anymore.
Adam E. Well, you were obviously wrong in 2019. I thought we would get to see them tear down the goalpost one last time. I guess that got pissed out the window. Steve Buick, I just heard McDermott say we have to move the chains. Well, that's an indictment of the coordinator, but he won't say anything more damaging than that because he's so careful. Too many injuries. Let's get healthy. That's true.
Very true.
Paul Chandler, Ralph, you need to be the owner.
Yes, I agree.
You know, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Hire Gruden. Yeah.
And our stadium wouldn't be called Highmark Stadium.
Highmark my ass. It's a freaking health insurance company. How disgusting is that?
Very.
I mentioned in the stadium video, if you add 11 bucks to every ticket, you know, that would make it 411 rather than 400. Then just name the place the Ralph.
Yeah.
Highmark.
It's almost as bad as, what is it, Geehaw?
Oh, Geehaw Field.
Geha, Geehaw Field.
McD needs to break the glass and go psycho on the team, the media, etc.
I agree.
I agree. Turnovers was the difference in the game, guys, period. Well, that's symptoms, not causes.
Mm-hmm.
Defense wins championships.
Defense didn't lose the game today.
No, didn't. Fake punts are the solution. NFL blitz style.
Yeah. Like, once again, how much are we saving for moments that we never see? Just win the game today. Win the game today, and you're 7-2, and you're in a different spot.
Bill Slayer 12, yeah. Coordinators fall apart away from McD. Do you see the pattern yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. Definitely. This looked like a Bills-Fins game from the 90s. The Fins were the Bills with Thurman Thomas, and y'all were the Fins with a helpless all-time great quarterback. That's a rather profound comment because, you know, the great Dan Marino and
who was there today?
Yeah. Great. Good statement.
Mm-hmm.
Josh didn't do a post conference, what I saw, only McDermott.
Really?
Interesting.
Well, I hope he's using his time wisely.
Next up, Mayfield and the Bucks. Mayfield is going to eat to build defense alive.
Whatever makes a change. Whatever makes a change. If we need to get embarrassed, then let's get really embarrassed.
Yeah. Thank Bean for not getting money before the deadline because he'd rather hold on to draft picks. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Which he does, you know. There's too many first round busts. And even if they're not busts, it's just like picking the wrong guy. Mm-hmm. And once again, like I was saying last night in the show, the NFL has improved by making calls now where we used to be able to see it. And it's like so obvious. Like that one catch today was not a catch.
I don't know. I didn't think, I don't know.
How do we have a defensive coach with no defense? Zachary Fry. Dolphins fan here. I'm sure this is a fluke. I still see Buffalo's winning our division.
Oh, thank you. That's nice, at least.
Yeah, my ass.
Oh.
The AFC East belongs to New England again, and the world is right.
You get out of here.
Yeah, you know. Win some games instead then. Fins up. Jonathan Olson. Thanks everybody for being at the show, for showing up here today. It's been a cool turnout. I'm seeing a bunch of new names and so forth. Again, you know, since it might appear that the Bills, you know, could have a hard time in a few more weeks, and you enjoy watching me bitch and get hoarse and so forth because it helps, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you see it. Again, it only takes a nanosecond. And also share. I was reminded by a viewer that I should be telling folks to share the podcast that I actually never have. So that would be great. And certainly your likes and comments on the videos are great. And get those subs up. I want to get past 1,000. And then it looks like I got a lot of people parked at my restaurant. People like, oh, it must be good. Let's pull in and have a drink. And
Josh had, did we read that? Josh had the most time.
Josh had the most time to release the ball, 5.3 seconds per throw. That's a clear indictment of the receivers suck.
Yeah, they just weren't getting open. First option was never there. We had to settle for some things. There were negative plays. It's gross.
Reinhold Wolf in the house. Back to reality and look neutral. What games did we really convince?
Yeah.
True. And quite frankly, I don't think a tremendous lot about even the Chiefs this season.
No.
I think that win is not as glowing and glorifying, and I think the Bills had this idea that it was.
Something that bothers me that doesn't really matter until it does is like Josh had the best statistical game of his career. Mahomes had the worst, and it was a 7-point game.
You guys could just read this one. Yeah, wide right. Scott Norwood, and then he'll never live that down. The most time Josh has had that this year. Well, part of that was by some of those scrambles he had to make, and that one where he actually
that one was gorgeous.
Did he hit Samuel downfield?
It was all over the place. It was 3rd and 17. No, 3rd and 16, I think.
That's right.
And he's running all over the place. It looks horrible, and then he throws over the middle to Curtis Samuel for a first down. That was probably the best moment in the game.
It is ridiculous that Bean thinks this team is championship caliber.
Word. They need, word.
Ralph, calm down a bit. You have a daughter in college who doesn't have blue hair and facial piercings.
Well, we'll see how the Bills do this season. Maybe I will soon.
Did a good job, and she's on the right path. Indeed, she is. That was good. They were sleepwalking today. You can't do that in the NFL. No, you cannot. No. Robert Ilardi in the house.
Yeah, and that's often feels like the case where they do what they're capable of, but never much more.
The play calling of Brady is a one-season wonder. I hate to say it, but this is a reality.
I agree. He came in halfway
There's another
through
fins up.
Season 2 years ago.
They did try and make a trade for Waddle, a third next year and the first in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. This actually supports what I heard, and the Dolphins wanted a first in 2026.
Well,
why wouldn't you do that?
Because 3rd-round picks are the only times we succeed. I don't know.
Well, they didn't want to lose 2 picks in one season. Who gives a crap if you go out and, today Waddle would have made a huge difference because not only would he have been on the Bills,
but he wouldn't have been on the Dolphins.
Thank you. And truthfully, that can change so much. If you got a threat downfield, it's a domino effect across the thing. And it's, McDermott always talks this horse shit about, doing your 1/11th. No, a receiver that can get downfield is more than 1/11th. It has more impact on the entire defensive game plan.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm getting hoarse from yelling. Just my opinion. 2 games ago, Cook had 214 yards and 3 quarters with outside pitches. Why haven't we seen this since? Because Joe Brady always wants it to be about what he invented. So if I do something different and we succeed again, that makes me look good because I'm auditioning to be the next smarmy ass head coach in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pagula should have stepped in. They should have never gotten rid of Dayball.
It feels like Joe Brady sometimes there's this idea of ignoring what is there and forcing what isn't.
JP's Adventure. All right. Thank you for coming on the show. A lot of new names here, guys. Thanks so much.
Even if you're a Dolphins fan. Thanks, I guess.
Whomever. My grandkids said we got BTA, belt to ass.
Good one.
I think he meant beat there. The days of trusting the process are done. If the Bills fail to get the Super Bowl 60, McDermott and Bean need to be fired in favor of coaching management who know how to win and have the rings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you can put down Gruden all you want. Didn't Gruden win a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Brad Johnson? Brad Johnson is his quarterback.
Yeah. If the Bills don't get the division this year and do something with it, if they're a wild card or worse, that means the arc is officially over.
This true story about the trade thing, and I'm gonna make a hard point about this thing in a couple of videos this week because this is the second place I've heard this where Bean refused to get rid of a first and a third.
Yeah.
For Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Again, who are you going to draft? Oh, you got the next Keon Coleman. your eyes on him, or is it somebody that Josh wants? Bills suck ass. Well, they did today. John Gruden would get a fire under their asses. I agree completely. JP's adventure right on. The Bills organization has wasted Allen's best years.
That's the part that's really the saddest.
Yes, it is. What's your record, G-Man? Oh, we got a little bit of Dolphins about to win out. G-Man, that's a lot. The Finns started trolling us. They started running the toss, too. Yeah. Ugly game. Bills not hungry to win. No, there's still an attitude problem on this team. B just wants to be in the playoffs. They have a chance to win it instead of going for it, period. And, I don't think he understands we're just an also ran the way he's going about it. Crazy in my mindset. Yeah, and that's the thing, because you've heard him talk about a lot in the past. I want to create this sustainable thing going forward, to be able to get to the wild card of the division round every year and go home bummed out.
Yeah. We're doing a very good job at doing the same thing every year.
G-Man the Dolphin fan. I'm laughing. All those Bills fans wasting money to fly down for the game, hotel, etc., to get their ass kicked. Well, they didn't get their asses kicked. The team got their asses kicked. Unless you got a bunch of thugs down in Miami that were trying to kick the fans' asses.
Crazy allegation.
We'll leave that alone. How is Miami going to waste a party? How is going to Miami a waste? Party and beaches. Yeah. I'd be okay with them to try to bring back Amari Cooper. He did good things for them. They didn't say he didn't do much, but he did. He would have done more. They targeted him more. 100% they got to bring in someone. Yeah, they did. They're left of that. The guys are home on their couch now. Yeah, well, Finns beat the brakes off us. They made a statement that was a bad loss. Definitely. Enjoy the flight home. Boy, you guys are being testy, but that's all right.
There's a fire under their stuff.
A-Chain is the best running back in the league. Yep. Okay. McDermott should have been kicked out after 13 seconds. Thank you. I am all over that. And you lost to that 3-17. What's that say about Barfalo? Thanks for making me laugh anyway.
Well, we lost it.
It isn't any given Sunday, G-Man. The Bills' perpetual failures in BS is what led me to abandon ship as a fan and follow the Eagles in 2006. 2 Super Bowl trophies since then. Fly, Eagles, fly. Well,
good for you, I guess.
That's fine, but unfortunately, I'm either addicted or, I just could never do that. Vince took belt to ass. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Bills.
You got me.
I think I absorbed all of the internet. Thanks, girls. I'd hire Gruden blindfolded. Yes, definitely. Well, we've beaten the living crap out of this, guys, and I'm getting hoarse, and I don't know what else to say other than the fact that this, maybe it needs to crumble and crumble badly and quickly before Josh Allen is used up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there needs to be something different going on with this team. And maybe for those of us that have known and felt this for years, maybe we need to rejoice at these kind of losses, because it's the only way we're going to get close. Because if we keep on going and losing, and either in the divisional round or the title game round, this would just keep on going on and on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh my God.
A lot of comments.
So many comments.
There we got one. Jeff, daughter Taylor, I agree with your opinions. Keep returning to the Ralph's channel. Did you see Miami rush for 200 against their depleted D-line and linebackers? Yes. Well, we watched most of it. We came up.
We don't often walk out on our Bills games, but this one felt rightly deserved.
Yeah, I wanted to
There was one multiple years ago against the Colts that we also walked out on. I remember showering before the game was over.
Well, a lot of good stuff here. But, guys, I think I'm going to let everybody off the hook. Go watch some real football. I can't leave that in my mind. You guys need JP Lossman back. Oh boy, talk that up. No, 2025 was supposed to be the year. And you know what? It was, and they need to get this straight. But I'm hoarse now. I need to find something to drink because I'm just about to go out of my head. And and then watch maybe some real football. I usually don't like to watch football after a Bills loss when the Bills play a football game, but that
Seeing
looked like
somebody
a football
else
game.
lose, always
It can help.
helps.
But anyway, again, thanks so much, everybody, for being on the stream today. We've taken an hour and 46 minutes now of your time in total. I appreciate it. Again, rate the podcast, review it, subscribe. It only takes a nanosecond to hit that subscribe button. Love to have you as part of the Ralph Rant going forward to see what happens in this foul year of the Buffalo Bills 2025. So with that, I must say, be good, do good. God bless, and go Bills. This is the Ralph Rant. I am the Ralph. This is the Ralph Rant. Thank you very much. We're out of here. See you next time.